Hello there everybody, it is me FreezerBunny and welcome back to another Sims 4 CC overview. So today I'm going to be showing off my brand new old Manila CC set for The Sims 4. The set comes with 26 new items for build and buy mode, and it should let you build a traditional Filipino ancestral house. The set is currently available for early access on Patreon, and public release will be next month on September 9th. So I'm really excited to see your guys' creations. Please feel free to tag me if you build anything with this set. I would love to see it. So this is kind of a passion project that I've been thinking about doing since forever. But obviously I don't think I was skilled enough to be able to execute it. But you know, I've been trying to learn how to do 3D modeling and texturing, all of that stuff this past year, and I'm really confident in this set. And this isn't the end of it. I'm still planning to add onto it, and I'm really excited to eventually be able to build a completed version of a traditional Filipino house. But in my opinion, this set covers the most crucial parts of a Filipino house, and in my opinion, the most distinguishing part of a Filipino house, which is this section of the exterior, which is the volada, or kind of like the upper floor of a Filipino house. I'm just showing you guys these two houses that I've already built because I'm really proud of it. But we're gonna go through all of the items individually in just a second. I'm just giving you guys an overview of how everything is supposed to come together. I'm also going to be explaining to you guys a little bit more about the technical background of each item as well. Also, towards the end of this video, I'm going to be doing kind of like a special overview of a free CC set that I put out a couple of months ago. It's a set of paintings created by a very famous Filipino artist. So yeah, really excited to be showing that off to you guys as well towards the end of this video. But I'm pretty sure you guys clicked on this video because you wanted to see all of the items that came with the old Manila set. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to it. We're gonna go ahead and actually start off with the wallpapers, because I'm really proud of the wallpapers. So this set came with 4 new wallpapers. We have this board and batten wallpaper. Just a fun fact, the board and batten is the oldest style of Filipino ancestral house. So yeah, these are all of the different color combinations. I noticed that the white one tends to be really bright, so I made this like kind of like blue-gray option for you guys. I think the darker color swatches actually translate better in game, in my opinion. So we have this board and batten, and we also have the broad and batten, which is just basically the same wallpaper, but it just has a more spaced out a vertical wooden element to it. So yeah, you can just mix and match these as well if you guys want to. I think these are actually really versatile, and I can see them being useful in other builds as well, not just traditional Filipino houses. So we have the board and batten, and we have the broad and batten, and we also have variations for interior. So these are essentially the same wallpapers. They just have a more thicker wooden part right here up top. Because of the way ceilings work in The Sims 4, you're only really gonna see this up to this part right here. And if you use these ones, for example, it's gonna get cut off and it looks really weird. So I made this a variation for you guys as well. So yeah, it's a variation. It's an interior variation for the board and batten and the broad and batten wallpaper as well. So I think that's that for the wallpapers. Let's go ahead and move on to the windows, because I feel like this is where it's going to get a little bit technical. So in my opinion, one of the most unique aspects of Filipino houses is the kapis window. So this is one of the first pieces that I did. A very popular CC creator also made her own version, Cibolet. Many years ago, this was recommended to me by a subscriber, but I decided to make my own version as well. And it comes in swatches that match the wallpaper swatches. So we have a couple of light wood swatches, dark wood, and also a white swatch as well. But yeah, you can use this as kind of like your own window in and of itself. But these were actually made to go as a system of windows, basically, or as an ensemble of windows that comes together with all of the other windows, and I want to call them accessories that are included in the set. So I'm going to go ahead and go through those. But we have this copies window, and we also have a louver window as well. And this one comes in the same color options. Right there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this because I want to show off the window openings actually. So in order to give you guys more flexibility and more options to make your ancestral houses, I decided to just make window openings, so it just makes it more versatile this way. So the window openings come in 3 different pieces. They all come in the same swatches that I just showed you guys. They all come in these same swatches that I showed you guys earlier as well. But we have the standalone window opening. We have the window opening for the middle part of the wall, and the sides, the window opening for the sides, basically. And the main purpose of this is so that you can put them together with either the copies window or the louver window to make it look like you have kind of like an open window that looks like that. So this set was actually made for the medium wall height. So if you put everything together, as I'm about to show you guys, it comes together the best in my opinion when you're using the medium wall height, but you can also use them with a tall wall height or with a short wall height. I think it's pretty versatile like that. So this is typically what you would normally see in a Filipino ancestral house. This kind of like open window situation right here. And actually to go with this, I made shutter versions of the copies window and the louver window. So there's shutters right here, and it allows you to place them wherever you want. Sorry about that weird camera angle right there. But yeah, you can have more options when it comes to placing these. Should probably replace this with the louver window. Because yeah, usually you would find these in traditional Filipino houses because it makes it more it gives, you know, homeowners more control over, you know, the amount of lighting or, you know, the ventilation and stuff like that. So, you know, these traditional houses are well adapted to the climate here in the Philippines. So yeah, it's a fairly complicated setup, but I think it works really well, you know. And you can also use these ones in particular, the louver windows, for like non-Filipino house builds, in my opinion. Fun fact, these window panes are actually made out of a type of shell, locally known as kapis shells, but I believe they're also called window pane oysters, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I was gonna say sugar pane oysters for some reason. No, it's window pane oysters. So yeah, as you can see, they're translucent, so you can see through them like you would in a normal glass window, but it's really good for controlling the amount of light that gets into the house, especially in the Philippines because sometimes the sunlight can be very harsh. So we have that. and we have a couple more items to look at actually. So with this set also comes a set of ventanillas. So these are like the window openings in a sense that they come in 3 different variations. There's a standalone one, there's a middle one, and there's also one for the sides. And typically you would see these small window openings just underneath the main window itself. So if I get rid of these shutters, we can put our ventanillas right here. And it typically looks like that. And the ventanilla also comes with its own shutter as well. So you can have more control over how it looks. I think I like, putting it like that, where you can see a little bit of the inside, if you guys get what I mean. And in the middle part, especially for the more wider window openings, there's usually a colonnette, which is this piece right here. This piece needs to be placed with the move objects. Apologize if you can hear all of that traffic noise outside, by the way, but yeah, we usually have a colonnette just to provide support for this middle bit. And actually for the ventanillas, you can also use them as like standalone windows like I used here. I used them with these doors that came with high school years. And then to finish off the set of windows that comes with the set, we have the transoms. And typically you would see these in traditional ancestral houses. So yeah, we have these transom windows right here. And I made 2 variations. There's just a regular square version, and also there is a diagonal version as well. One thing to keep in mind, for the board and batten style, the windows typically are ribbon windows. And what I mean by that is that they run through the entire length of the front of the house. There's different styles actually. There's probably gonna get into it in another video, but there's different styles. Like there's a platter style, there's a flowers and trellis style, horizontals and verticals. I'm gonna look up that article I found online and probably share it on Twitter or something like that. But yeah, for the board and batten style specifically, the windows run through the entire length. And also, if I haven't mentioned it before, the board and batten style is the oldest out of the known styles for Filipino ancestral houses. So that pretty much makes up most of the components that make up the traditional Filipino windows. And this is just for the windows, you guys. There's still a lot more to cover. Oh, actually, I forgot that we also have these handrails. I'm calling these handrails because the local word for them is barandilla. Oh, sorry, no. These are what's called barandilla. So just to talk a little bit more about the technical side of it, the opening itself is called ventanilla, but the railings, which come in either wood or wrought iron, have different names. So the wood version is called barandilla, which is the ones that we have here. If it's wrought iron, it's a different word. I think it's called rejas or something. And these pieces right here are actually called pasamano. That's why it's called handrail, because I looked it up and pasamano translates to handrail in Spanish. So not sure if it's actually that functionality wise, because I feel like the pasamano functions more as kind of like the sliding mechanism for the sliding doors. But you know, it is what it is. A lot of these are like words that are derived from Spanish, but there are also some that are native origin. And actually there is a corner version for the pasamano as well. So it looks like that. It should snap quite nicely onto the corners of your houses. And I think that is pretty much it for the windows. There's just another set of items that I would like to show you guys, and that's just the house posts. So traditionally, Filipino houses are timber structures, even though sometimes they might look outwardly masonry structures. They actually have an underlying timber frame to them. And these are the key components of every Filipino house. The house posts, also known as haligi in our native language. So I just included these squared posts, because I call them squared posts because sometimes they also come in unsquared, like they come with the natural shape of the wood, which is a very unique aspect of Filipino aesthetics. I'm probably gonna make that at some point, but I just did it like this because I just wanted it to be more modular. So these three corresponds to the short, medium, and tall wall height. So these are 3, 4, and 5 meters respectively. And then these other three are 2 meters, 1.5 meters, and 1 meters. I think these two make for really good house posts, or like if you're trying to build a house on stilts, I think they make for really good stilts. The 1 meter one, I'm not so sure, but I think it makes for a really good kind of like extension. So if you just raise up one of the posts right there, you can, you know, make it a more interesting shape. So yeah, you can play around with it. All of these items are modular. You're going to be able to rotate this as well. So if you want to use these as beams, you can do that as well. I think that's pretty much it for all of the items, but I do want to take a second to just show you guys kind of like what it looks like when it all comes together in a build. So here we have kind of like my version of a, you know, traditional Filipino street. Still a work in progress, but you guys can see all of the different components right here. I only used items from this set and EA items. As you can see, I think it works really well with the items that we already have in game. Some of these are expansion pack items, by the way, so just please keep that in mind. So yeah, this is the house that I used for a lot of the screenshots that I shared on my social media. And yeah, I really like the proportions. I think the details is just what really gives it that, you know, look of it being a Filipino house. And I just wanted to show this off because this is a corner house, and I think a lot of the windows work well as corner pieces, as you can see right here. And I think I could see this working as a shop house or something like that. One more thing about the windows, actually, I don't think I've actually like probably showed it off, is that some of the windows, it's really hard to get them to cast a shadow. They're not broken or anything. I thought they were at first, but it's really hard to get them to cast a shadow because the window itself is really thick. So depending on the lighting, we may or may not see them cast a shadow. So as you can see, this one casts, all of the windows are like this, by the way. So this one casts a shadow, and it has that really nice kind of lighting effect. This one does that as well. If you make it face the other way, obviously it doesn't cast that shadow because of the angle of the louvers. And also this one. As you can see, it's very subtle, but it's there if you look closely enough. And I think the reason for that is because the window itself is just really thick, and the mullions, these wooden pieces inside of the window, they're just so closely packed that there's barely any light that goes through them. The only window that actually doesn't cast a shadow is this diagonal one. I tried to figure it out, but I think it's just because of the shape of the mullions that makes it so that the light doesn't pass through, but everything else works fine. These window openings look amazing, and actually these ventanillas also look really good as well, because as you can see, they're quite spaced out. Unlike the copies and louver windows, they're quite spaced out, so the light, it's easier for the lighting, for the in-game lighting to pass through them, basically. But yeah, they look really cool. And you can use them, you know, as kind of like their own standalone windows, if you guys get what I mean. So I'm really happy with how it all came together. I hope you guys enjoyed this overview, because I think that's pretty much it for the old Manila sets. And I hope you also find it insightful as well, because I really enjoy talking about traditional Filipino architecture. But before I go, I do want to show you guys a couple more items that I just made. This is another passion project that I have, is to bring awareness to Filipino artists. And there's this one very famous Filipino artist from the 19th century called Juan Luna. Probably the most famous local artist, to be honest, because of his acclaim in Europe. He did some really famous paintings that won quite many awards internationally in the 19th century. So a couple of months ago, I did put out a set of 4 paintings created by Filipino artist Juan Luna, called the Filipino Masters set. It's a free set that I shared on my Patreon. You guys can download it if you want to. But this is a set of neoclassical paintings from the late 19th century, painted by the Filipino Masters. So the first one that I'm going to show you guys is probably the most historically important Filipino painting in history. So this is the Spoliarium, and this is the actual size of it, you guys. So as you can see, it's like taller than the first story of this house. But this is the Spoliarium by Juan Luna, the most important painting in the Philippines culturally, historically. There is a video essay on the historical importance of this painting on YouTube. I'll probably put a link to that in the description or the pinned comment, so you guys can understand the historical significance of it for Filipinos. But this painting basically like sparked a revolution, and it's currently displayed in the National Museum of the Philippines. I had the pleasure of seeing this painting multiple times because I don't live that far from the National Museum, so it's really this painting is really like, I don't know, I just feel awestruck whenever I see this painting because of how huge it is, first of all, and just how amazing it is. But yeah, this is a neoclassical painting showcasing the basement of the Roman Colosseum called the Spoliarium. So yeah, apparently it's supposed to like be a metaphor for, you know, the colonialism of the Philippines and the struggles that we had with history and colonialism. So very expensive painting as well. I listed it as 1 million simoleons. So, you know, if you have some spare change, maybe you can buy this painting for your Sims houses. The next painting that I'm going to show off is a quite rare painting by Juan Luna. This is the Death of Cleopatra, which is currently on display at the Museo del Prado in Madrid. And I think this is his first like critically acclaimed painting. The Spoliarium, I think, won a gold medal at the Madrid at the Madrid Art Academy or something like that. I forget the name of the award giving body, but it won like a gold medal. This one painted a couple of years earlier than the Spoliarium, but this one won, I think, a bronze medal or something like that. And it's really weird because for very many decades, this painting was just left in a storage in Spain. It only got recently displayed because, you know, because of the cultural importance of it to many Filipinos. Also quite a large painting as well. As you can see, it almost takes up this entire 4-meter wall. Up next is a painting called Las Damas Romanas. I believe it's Roman maidens fairly small paintings compared to the other ones, and also kind of not much is known about this painting. I just decided to include it because I feel like it fit with the neoclassical set of paintings. I feel like it fit with all of the other classical paintings that we saw, so I decided to include it in the set as well. And actually, last but not the least is this painting called Hymene or Hymene or something like that. Before you guys overreact about the name of this painting, I think the name of this painting actually comes from the name of a Greco-Roman god or something like that. I think it's a god similar to Cupid or something, and that's the name of the god. But yeah, I actually had the pleasure of seeing this painting in person when it was displayed at the Ayala Museum in Manila. And again, another very sublime experience seeing Juan Luna's works, because I mean, you're literally in the presence of greatness, right? It's literally the greatest artist from your country, and arguably one of the greatest artists in the world, in my opinion. But this painting was actually recently just repatriated to the Philippines. It was found in Paris, and this painting actually has a very prestigious background because it won a bronze medal at the Paris exposition. I don't know the year, but it's the same exposition that gave us none other than the Eiffel Tower. So, you know, this is a very big deal. Yeah, this was recently displayed in the Philippines. I don't think it's available for display now, so hopefully you guys were able to see it if you're from the Philippines. So yeah, I think that's actually pretty much it for this overview. I hope you guys enjoyed the historical lesson, and yeah, I just want to say thank you to all of my supporters on Patreon. Your support means a lot to me. And yeah, please let me know if you guys got the early access for the Old Manila. And like I said, please feel free to tag me if you use these items in a build. Right now, I'm working on a set of doors that goes with the rest of the Old Manila set. So hopefully we can have a full exterior build set in the future. So that's all I'm gonna say for now. But I feel like this video has gone on way too long. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it, and I think I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up right here. So thank you guys so much for watching. You all have an awesome day. Enjoy the rest of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye bye.